Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Little River, South Carolina, visiting North Strand Nissan, and I'm checking out a 2019 Nissan Sentra in the SR trim level. This Sentra is sitting on 205 50 Continental tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Deep Blue Pearl, and the sun happens to be shining right now, so we can get an idea of what it looks like. Really nice, kind of a royal blue. So here in the front has the chrome there in the center with the matching the badging. Also around the fog lights and portions of the headlights have the chrome as well. So the grille is a flat black on the bottom and a gloss black there on the top. You have your adaptive cruise control sensor right in here. This little cover is for your like a tow hook screws in there, in case you're wondering. Okay, so the headlights, the bezels have a black chrome combination. It also has a combination of projector and reflector housings. Now the low beams are powered by LEDs, high beams are halogens, and the fog lights are halogens as well, both in reflectors. So taking a look at the profile here, the handles are chrome as well as the trim around the outside of all the glass. So to kind of solidify this look, it has the matte black pillars, and then of course if you were to tint the windows, it would really complement this look. But the chrome on the outside and then the blacked out pillars kind of gives it that one solid sleek look instead of chopping up the glass. The wheels look really nice, especially at this distance. And the upper portion of the side mirror is also body colored as well. And it has a LED turn signal indicator in the side here on the side mirrors. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system designed to where you can keep it in your pocket 100% and use the vehicle. So it has a physical key there on the inside. It does have useful buttons in case you want to use the key itself. Lock, unlock, the ability to open up the trunk, and a panic button. So let's go ahead and push that to see what the horn sounds like. Now as long as you have the key within a close proximity of the outside of this door, you can have it in your pocket, in a bag or whatever. As long as it's on the outside of the door, very close, you can lock and unlock the doors by pushing this button. So right now it's locked. To unlock it, push it again, it unlocks. You also have a physical key location here on the outside of the driver's side only. On the inside of the passenger side door, it's mostly black, but it does have a nice subtle blue stitching right here on the armrest, and right in here it's an accent. Looking pretty nice. Now the soft touch surfaces are your armrest here is kind of like a vinyl type material, and then here is a cloth, and the cloth continues on all the way up in here. The rest of the door is the hard plastics. Now the pocket at the bottom, you can see it has a bottle holder and extends over here. Also this handle also is completely enclosed, so you can put some stuff in there as well. And it kind of looks like it's flat here on the back. Maybe you can prop your cell phone in there. I don't know, I hadn't tried it, but that kind of looks what it's made for. Manually adjusted cloth seats here for the passenger. Now these are heated, two-stage heated seats for both the driver and passenger here in the front. And it has like a microfiber type cloth there in the center with a textured pattern. Then you have some French stitching there in the center portion. And then you have more of a slightly more coarse cloth on the outer portion of the seats where the bolsters are. There's your legroom. Very surprising amount of legroom in this vehicle for its size. Floor mat hooks in place in one spot. A little bit of tapering right in there, but overall It looks pretty good. So the dash is a soft touch dash. This portion is hard touch. And you have a glove compartment that's smooth plastic and whew, huge. It goes way back in there. I don't know if you can see that. Really nice glove compartment / storage compartment. The inside of the back door is very similar to the front in styling, and the soft touch surfaces, same thing. You have the cloth here extending all the way to the front, the vinyl soft touch here, and then the rest of the door is hard touch plastics. The back seat is basically a bench seat. You can fold the seats down in a 60-40 split to add to your cargo space. We'll get to that soon. Now it has the latch system for car seats, or ISOFIX, depending on what country you live in. So you have an armrest with cup holders that you can move up out of the way. And you have little storage pockets there and 2 USB charge ports, which is nice. Slight hump there in the middle. Well, more than slight. Hump in the center, so the center passenger will have to deal with that. There's a pocket on the back of the passenger seat, the front passenger seat only. Now notice the seats are quite a ways off the floor, so that kind of helps out with the legroom. But even with the seats all the way back, it's still pretty good back here, especially considering the size of the vehicle overall. Has a locking fuel door, and it's here on the passenger side, so you can have the passenger pump the gas for you. Okay, so there's basically it has a standard cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. Okay, so looking at the back, up here it has a body colored antenna right there. The third brake light is not in the glass, it's actually here in this deck lid spoiler. So that's body colored as well. And it's kind of raised up a little bit. Kind of disconnected a little bit from the back just for styling, I suppose. Strip of chrome across the back, and then the bottom portion is black. It's a flat black, and the exhaust is not hiding, it's right there, so you can check it out. It has a chrome tip. Now the backup camera, I noticed this when I was driving. The backup camera is way over here, so it's significantly offset. So you have to consider that when you're looking in the view of the camera. It is just not in the center. Okay, so opening up the trunk, let's go ahead and open that up. You have standard bulbs back here for your taillights too. You see, there's your bulbs, there's a little button there. This is where the backup camera should be, and this is where the button should be. That's my opinion anyway. Okay, so there's the underside of the trunk. It's all carpeted, which is nice. And nice height for a trunk. And I'll put all the dimensions and specs of this vehicle in the description. Under here is your spare tire and tools. I guess you utilize that for a little bit more cargo space as well. Under here, you can see there's exposed speakers and wires and metal. And there's your split for your 60-40 split seats. Now they're not exactly level with the trunk area, but you can fold down one or the other to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, or you can fold them both down and really add a significant amount of room to your cargo space. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it up. I have the key inside my pocket. It can be in your pocket, in a bag, as long as it's inside the vehicle this time. Put your foot on the brake and hold it and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You notice the floor mat is hooked in with 2 places now, keeping it straight for you. And you have the brake pedals with the raised rubber grips, accelerator, brake pedal, and a footrest here. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's actually a latch so you can see. It's yellow right there. It's there to the right of center. And you push it to the left and lift up. Now it's quite a heavy hood, so you gotta be prepared for that. And there's the latch, and it requires a prop to hold it up. The prop is actually on the underside of the hood here, and it swings down and goes right to that where that arrow is pointing. So there's some insulation on the underside of the hood, also a little seal across the front, seal across the back. This kind of helps out with mostly noise, but also a little bit of airflow. You also have a almost completely insulated firewall there. Insulated battery as well. Strut towers are braced in with the unibody structure of the vehicle. So it has a plastic cover on top, but here's your engine, and it's a 4-cylinder, so it goes this way since it's a front-wheel drive. So this is the front, this is the back, and the transmission is back here. The intake is across the front, and your exhaust is in the back. So it's a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine paired to a CVT, continuously variable transmission. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So you have a power windows here, your rear doors, your front doors, and your driver's side has the automatic. So it's 1 touch down, 1 touch up. Then you have your door lock controls. So the driver's seat is manual as well, except for they have a height adjustment. Here to the left of the steering column, you have a few buttons. This one is your dimmer switch for your interior gauges. Adjustments for your side mirrors, you just pick a side and adjust it with this little pad. You can release the trunk here. Sport mode, you can put it in sport mode and get a little bit more performance, oriented shifting and all that stuff out of the CVT. And then you have a traction control, which is default on, but you can turn it off here. It also has a tilt and a telescoping steering column that you can lock in place. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out. Looks like the door flows into the dash quite nice. And you see some of the accents you see on the door also here in the center portion as well. But I have the seat all the way back and all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall, just to give you an idea of the legroom. So I would have this all the way back. That would be my normal position. There's not a lot of extra room for me. I'm 6 feet tall, so that, you know, that's where I would have to have it. So the steering wheel is a kind of like a synthetic type leather, highly textured, soft to the touch steering wheel. It's good thickness. It feels like it would be. One thing about synthetic materials is they're fairly durable. Also, they're easy to clean, so you don't have to worry about special leather cleaner or anything like that. You can they just seem to last quite a bit, and also they don't absorb oils from your hands and stuff like that as much as, say, leather. Okay, so here on the right side is your cruise control. So you have the ability to turn it on and off there, accelerate, resume, set. Up here is the cancel, but this button is for your adaptive cruise control, so you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. So it'll follow along. So if they're going slower than your set speed, it'll slow you down and match their speed until they get out of the way, and in the meantime you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using that. So down here is your Bluetooth controls and voice recognition, so you can send calls, receive calls, and hang up and all that. So here on the left side you have your volume for your radio. This is also for your radio. So you see it actually says enter and then up and down, make selections. You can change through the audio tracks, or you can also change through the radio stations by going up and down, that kind of thing. You can also cycle through your presets on your radio. And you can change your audio source by pushing that button. So down here, these buttons correspond with a screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in a minute. Over here is your windshield wiper controls. On the left side is your turn signal with your headlight controls. So you have off, automatic, parking lights and headlights. And your fog lights are controlled here. Okay, very simplistic gauges right here. So it has a nice dial around the outside, but the white lettering pops through the black. It's easy to focus on and easy to read. So on the left side is the little tiny gauge there is your engine coolant temperature. The big gauge is your tachometer RPMs. On the right side, fuel gauge and your speedometer. But right here in the center is a digital screen, so you can get a lot of information here. Right now at the very top, it's showing your outside temperature, a clock, and at the bottom, it shows your distance to empty and your odometer and what gear you're in. But right there in the center, it says average speed and digital speedometer, so you can actually get, I'm not sure what the purpose is, but it has the ability to keep track of your average speed since the last time you started the vehicle. So using these buttons here, so we're going to cycle through using these buttons. So change to a different page. You have trip A and trip B. Both of them reset. You can reset those independently. You have a distance and a time, like a timer. Fuel economy, you can get real time and average right here. You can reset that. Whatever your radio is doing will show up here. And your driving aids, so this is, let's say, your adaptive cruise control and your forward collision warning type system information will show up there. Any warnings or messages will show up there. And then your driver, this is your settings, so you could basically go through. Now, once you're in this screen, this is where you use this button to cycle down. So now we can go down and up using these buttons and make selections. Alright, I'm going to push the pages button again and again. So let's go back to that car. So we saw the car there. Right there. Okay, so when we turn on the cruise control here, so now you notice at the top there's bars. So when I push the distance button right here, so you can get an idea, kind of a visual reference as to what your miles per hour you're set at, plus your distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. So that's kind of a quick rundown of that screen. Has some additional information. You don't have to go in there if you don't want to. It's just there in case you want that additional information. Okay, so your four-way flashers are here, and then you have some vents and touchscreen. So you have a physical volume knob, which is nice. A lot of people like that. And the home screen, let's go ahead and push that. So that takes you here, and it's kind of like a cell phone in a way, where it has these little app buttons, shortcuts. You can customize it. It has like a little clock widget type thing, and you can customize it using the little icon there. You can also go to your audio. Physical buttons here on the outside are useful. So right now it's in the satellite radio. You can see your preset at the bottom. It has little icons too, which is pretty cool. We can also change the audio source. So we have AM, FM, satellite radio, USB, Bluetooth audio, auxiliary, and Apple CarPlay, which is nice. So you will have to plug in your device to activate Apple CarPlay. So it just kind of gives you an idea of, you know, what the screen's about. Of course, you have settings. You have little icons here at the bottom as well. You can go into. Okay, so down here is your climate control. So it's a dual zone, driver and passenger temperatures here. And then you have your fan speed, where you want the air to blow, that's that mode. You can turn the AC on or off. And you have dual mode, or they can be synced together. And it shows where the air is blowing, the fan speed, and the temperatures. So as I adjust this one, it adjusts the other one. Now push dual. Now when I just adjust this one, that one's separate. I'm going to turn off dual, and then that way they're the same. Okay, so we have a little storage pocket down here and a place to plug in 12-volt power supply there. Okay, so here's your shifter, and let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And when we do that, it pops up the backup camera. So remember I mentioned the backup camera is highly offset. You see where this line is right there? That's about where the center of the vehicle is. But you notice that's way off on this side of the screen over here. And you notice the lines, the guidelines, they are active, but you notice they're offset as well. So you kind of have to get used to that. And I mean, you can see behind you well, and it's a wide angle view, so everything, but just having it offset is a little bit of a I think it would be easier if they just put it in the middle, but that's just me. Neutral, drive, and then you have a low range. So this is in case you need some engine braking, you're going down a steep hill or something like that. And you also have a button right here as well. Now this just turns off your overdrive. Now with a CVT transmission, it doesn't really have a particular for top gear, so I guess it just lowers the gear. Curious as to the difference between this button and the low range, but it has that as well, and it turns off the overdrive. Okay, so you have your heated seat controls here, and it's 2-stage, high, low, and then off there in the center. Place to put some quarters right in here. There's some cup holders, handbrake, parking brake. Okay, so your armrest is right in here. You can move it forward and back. It's soft to the touch. It does bottom out quickly, but it does soft. And it lifts up. Kind of springy, so check this out. So it doesn't slam back down, it will slam open though. Okay, so this is where you'll find your USB and auxiliary inputs. Now, to use the Apple CarPlay, you will need to plug in your device and have it plugged in the whole time. So I guess you can put it in this compartment here. It goes down in there quite a ways. And they do have a place for the wire to go in and out of the compartment right here, so that's good. Rear view mirror has a manual day and night mode. You have a place to put your shades and really big spots. You can put like big Hollywood glasses in there apparently. Tap lights. Turn on all your interior lights. Turn them all on with the door. And there's a little ambient light right there that turns on at nighttime. There's your visor. With one mirror, no lights. Let's check this out. And it does extend out, but I don't see any clips or anything. Now it's the same material as the headliner, so it's that same cloth material. A lot of vehicles have like this, like a vinyl type or some strange material, but this has the matching, so that's nice. Okay, so let's look at the visibility. Okay, so overall, there's a nice big glass in the back, big back window. Also the pillars have the little windows in the pillars. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, relatively speaking, it's not bad at all, I don't think. Alrighty, so there you have it. 2019 Nissan Sentra in the SR trim level. Thank you for watching, and thank you to North Strand Nissan here in Little River, South Carolina. They provided the vehicle, so you can check out their website. I have a link in the description. You can check out more details about this particular vehicle, like say the price and all that stuff, but also show in just a second the window sticker so you can see everything and list it out. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.